coastal flood warning, a high wind warning, and a flood watch have been issued for our area by the National Weather Service. Currently in our area, 54 degrees with light rain. Today, windy with rain, heavy at times, high 58. Winds north-northeast at 35 to 50 miles per hour. Rainfall possibly over 2 inches. Winds could occasionally gust over 70 miles per hour. For tonight, windy with rain, heavy at times, low 57. Winds east-southeast at 35 to 50 miles per hour. Winds could occasionally gust over 70 miles per hour early. On Tuesday, windy with periods of rain, high 60. Our week ahead.
To unfold as Sandy is nearing the coast, only about 300 miles offshore at this time. The mid-Atlantic is just getting annihilated right now with heavy rain. That's going to move north. Right now, we have just been seeing a sprinkle, but we've got rain, wind, surge, and feet of snow to talk about.
And for you this morning, staggering 50 million of you are directly in the path of this monster, which has just made its turn toward the coast. Boston, New York, Philly, D.C., and Atlantic City, all of you being hit, but the impacts will be felt hundreds of miles inland. As far as Chicago, where we could see 25-foot waves on Lake Michigan. Sandy is an unprecedented storm likely to have unprecedented impacts. Our meteorologists in place to cover all the angles of this historic storm right now on Your Weather Today.
And here is a look at Sandy as it is passing the Florida coast up to the Carolinas. Right now, the tropical storm force winds extend out almost 500 miles from the center of this system. It is going to get even bigger as it's starting to take that turn towards the west and combine with a trough. Good morning. Welcome into Your Weather Today on this Monday, October 29th. As we track Hurricane Sandy, I'm meteorologist Stephanie Abrams live in New York City.
And I'm meteorologist Mike Bettis at the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta. A lot going on today, Stephanie, that's for sure. We're going to begin with the very latest. Coast Guard distress call off North Carolina's Outer Banks overnight. 17-member crew abandoned their tall ship, which was taking on water and had no propulsion. They are on two 25-foot lifeboats with canopies, wearing survival suits and life jackets. The Coast Guard is trying to determine whether to use cutters or helicopters to rescue the crew based on the current ocean conditions. The New York Governor's Office just announced it will deploy the state's National Guard at 1 o'clock this afternoon to inspect surge response resources and give an update on Hurricane Sandy. And all the way into London, Heathrow Airport officials announcing they are canceling several flights to and from U.S. airports along the East Coast, and the disruption to air travel tremendous. Stephanie?
All right, we want to give you the very latest on Sandy as it started to take that turn to the west. We did get an update here at 8 o'clock with the latest on Sandy, and it has taken that westerly track. That pressure still very low, still a Category 1 hurricane. We anticipate it to come inland as we head overnight into tomorrow. But again, we don't care about the center of the cone and where it makes landfall because it is going to be so massive. And right now, we are getting a northerly wind. I want to show you the Hudson really quick here as we walk over. Look at the white caps on the Hudson. This is not something that you typically see. This is not the Atlantic Ocean. This is a Hudson River with white caps. We have a northerly flow, and that means that everything's going south, but that's going to change, and this water is going to come up where we are here in the Battery Park area. Now we want to go to the head of FEMA. Craig Fugate is so kind to join us this morning. I know he is very busy. Craig, thanks for being with us. When you've been talking to all the different agencies in the different states, does everyone feel like they're ready to go, or is it just spread so thin because so many are going to be impacted?
I think the biggest question is just really how bad is it going to be where, and trying to make sure we have stuff ready to go depending upon those impacts. But as you're pointing out, our real focus right now is on those evacuation zones due to the storm surge.
So, Craig, what are all the different agencies doing? Do they have trucks that are based far out, or where's everyone, I guess, basing everything?
We've got stuff going in different places. Like we have, working with the military, we're using Lakehurst, New Jersey. We've had supplies going in there earlier this weekend. We have supplies going over into Pennsylvania, throughout the region. So we weren't sure exactly who would get hit the hardest. So we moved a lot of stuff throughout the New England to the Mid-Atlantic states to have stuff ready to go.
And do you actually have even more supplies farther out that they can then bring in case there is one area that really gets it good?
Yeah, we've been moving stuff and have stuff ready to follow in. Again, we're doing this in conjunction with all of our state and local partners as well as the private sector. Again, the response is going to be determined how quickly conditions improve after the storm moves through.
Craig, real quick, where can they get information on everything we've been talking about?
Go to ray.gov to get ready. Go to FEMA.gov to see what we're doing to prepare for the storm.
All right, Craig Fugate, we really appreciate it. We know you're super busy. By the way, you can actually follow Craig on Twitter as well. The wind is just starting to pick up here in New York City. We want to go to Mike Seidel, who has actually had it for a while now. Mike, 24 hours or so, you guys have been getting good wind?
Yeah, pretty good wind now. It's obviously much windier now than it was yesterday morning and even last night when we shut down around 8 o'clock. Look at the surf out here. You can just stand here in awe of the power of the wind and the energy from the wind being transferred down to the water. And these wave heights got to be 10 to 12 footers. We already know the buoy off Cape May, New Jersey has 23, 24 footers. And every now and then a wave will come almost halfway up to this wide dune. Now this dune is about 25 yards wide. It's got a pretty good height. But again, the test comes this evening at high tide between about 8 and 8:30 on this coast. Storm goes in south of here. That's a given. That's going to pile the water up for a long period of time. So as the tide tries to go out here in the next 6 hours, it's